So I watched this recent movie called Tag, and you know it was quite fun. I mean, some of it was, some was more fun than other bits and such. It obviously reminded me of Hangover, considering um, there are some of the same actors there, but didn't think it was as fun. I don't know. I haven't seen Hangover in a while, or the sequel, so I can't quite recall specifically, but I think I liked it more. Maybe because of the fact that they didn't include, I think they didn't, at least, I suppose, an attempt at pathos, I call it, at the end. Didn't seem to fit very well. Obviously, it wasn't comedic, wasn't the point, but it didn't quite. I don't know. And obviously, faking a miscarriage is also sort of similar to that, I suppose, although the end there didn't fake, supposedly. So it's a bit, yeah. Could have been better. I don't know if that specifically, honestly, based on real life, considering they said it was based on real life, but it just didn't feel very fitting, I suppose. So no. But otherwise, it wasn't too bad. Um, it was quite funny. I mean, at the beginning where he tried to smash glass and the chair came back to him. It's just pure slapstick, but I found it funny. What other bits, I guess? I don't know. Uh, yeah, I guess some other bits, the bit of the mall and such. Um, but yeah, it's an interesting idea at the very least as well. Funny and interesting, the whole idea behind it that happened for real. So I like movies with interesting premises. This was interesting, I think. Uh, Adults playing tag, I don't think there's many of them. And yeah, I suppose it's comedic as well. I don't know. I guess when the children play it, it's not necessarily comedic, but considering adults, so it's sort of disruptive when they play it, and that makes it comedic, I suppose. But well, you see, at the ending, though, he played at the hospital, and I don't know, it was quite, with the soundtrack and such. It was fun, I guess one could say, but the fact that they're playing it there at the hospital is a bit, yeah, like, that guy couldn't believe he was a doctor and such, and it's kind of unbelievable that they do that as well at the hospital. Because that's a problem if they keep playing it everywhere, it does become a problem. But otherwise, yeah, it was interesting, I suppose, in terms of the premise and how the comedy was executed as well. It was all interesting. Um, with regards to the actors themselves, well, as I said, I knew from Hangover, which is kind of similar to this, but I knew Jeremy Renner from another totally different movie. The first one I ever saw him in and still had an impression on me. Apparently won loads of awards, but I personally didn't like it. Maybe Hurt Locker, right? It's a totally different movie, but he has a somewhat similar attitude. Um, Obviously, it's slightly different target in Hurt Locker. It's very different, but I don't know. He's kind of arrogant in both. Um, at least I haven't seen Hurt Locker very recently, so I didn't directly associate him with it. But it's still a bit difficult to dissociate him from someone who defuses bombs. He went from that to someone who plays hide and seek. Ah, that's quite an evolution. But yeah, that's what actors do, I guess. It's a problem though when actors, well, kind of a problem anyway, small problem really, but whatever. I guess ultimately they don't care so much themselves, considering they're paid and it's only a career and such. But it's a difficulty when they do multiple genres. So then viewers inevitably associate them with whichever the previous genre was that they watched, and it's a bit difficult to do that. It's happened just a slight bit when I watched what was it called again? Ghost Stories, yeah, and Freeman was in it. Now the last time I watched Freeman was in Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, which is a pure comedy. So it was a bit difficult to dissociate him as well. I mean, he had a somewhat similar character, but not identical. Quite different storyline. Of course, the thing is, he didn't have. He had maybe one third of the. I mean, he wasn't quite the protagonist, so I don't know. Whereas this guy was the focus for half the movie, and so he was in Hurt Locker as well. So it's a bit difficult to associate him. And in Hurt Locker, he's all like, "Oh, my life is all about being on the edge, etc." Not quite the same here, but he's still quite extreme in how he handles this, how he tries to avoid being tagged. But yeah, otherwise, I mean, it's a fun game mostly. Just didn't think that at the end sort of fit it, but otherwise, um, I do not think it is a bad sort of movie as such. Um, but hmm, yeah, going to need to read about it. It was interesting, and I noticed people are a bit split about it though. So some think it's worth on average 7, and some think it's worth on average 6. Yeah, personally, I'm in the lower side of the equation, but even 6 isn't too bad. It's slightly above average, and I think it is really. I mean, I've seen worse comedy, or at least mediocre comedy if it's an average 5 or such. Not that these numbers matter much, but this is why I like to go on at length about movies, because obviously numbers do not tell the whole story by far. But yeah, I mean, it was fun, but I don't know, it was still not just pure fun. I suppose kind of like Hangover was, I think. Although as I said, it's been years since I watched it, so I cannot quite tell if it was absolutely pure fun or not. But yeah,